War stories, at their core, are narratives that encapsulate experiences, events, and emotions associated with conflict and warfare. These stories may be first-hand accounts from soldiers, commanders, or civilians, or they might be fictionalized versions that draw on real events to convey truths about the human condition during times of war. These narratives serve as a means of understanding the complexities of war, highlighting the heroism, tragedy, and often the senselessness of conflict. The significance of war stories lies in their ability to convey the multifaceted nature of war, its impact on individuals and societies, the moral and ethical dilemmas faced, and the enduring scars it leaves behind. One prominent example of a war story is Erich Maria Remarque's All Quiet on the Western Front, which provides an unflinching portrayal of life in the trenches during World War I. This novel underscores the futility and devastation of war from a soldier's perspective, challenging glorified notions of military conflict. Another powerful example is Tim O'Brien's The Things They Carried, a collection of linked short stories that explore the Vietnam War's psychological and emotional toll on soldiers. Both works illustrate the personal and collective struggles faced during wartime and serve as vital cultural artifacts that help us understand historical and contemporary conflicts. War stories can foster empathy and understanding, giving voice to those who have lived through war and allowing others to grasp the realities they faced. However, they can also be controversial, as some narratives might be perceived as glorifying war or providing a biased perspective. For instance, stories that focus heavily on heroism and valor may overlook the broader societal impacts and moral complexities of war. Additionally, narratives written by victors might overshadow those of the defeated or marginalized, leading to an incomplete or skewed historical record. Furthermore, war stories are intrinsically linked to other aspects of warfare, such as political ideology, propaganda, and historical memory. They influence how wars are remembered and can shape public perceptions and attitudes towards future conflicts. These narratives can both reflect and challenge the prevailing discourse, offering alternative viewpoints or reinforcing dominant narratives. In essence, the introduction to war stories is crucial because it sets the stage for exploring the myriad dimensions of warfare. Through their emotional resonance and historical significance, these stories remain an integral part of understanding human conflict, providing insights into the past while also resonating with contemporary issues. The concept of historical context and evolution in the realm of war stories is fundamental to understanding how narratives of conflict shape and are shaped by the times in which they are created and retold. At its core, this notion involves analyzing how war stories have been influenced by the cultural, political, and technological changes throughout history, and how these narratives evolve to reflect the broader human experience. This point is significant because it provides depth and perspective to war stories, transforming them from mere accounts of battle into reflections of societal values and ideologies. By exploring the historical context and evolution of war stories, we gain insight into the shifting perceptions of heroism, morality, and the impact of war on humanity. For instance, the war stories from World War I, such as Erich Maria Remarque's All Quiet on the Western Front, depict the senseless carnage and disillusionment of modern warfare, contrasting sharply with the more romanticized depictions from earlier conflicts. Similarly, the Vietnam War marked a turning point in war storytelling, with works like Tim O'Brien's The Things They Carried providing raw, introspective looks at the psychological burdens carried by soldiers, a theme less explored in earlier war narratives. Opinions supporting the importance of historical context suggest that understanding the evolution of these stories helps in comprehending the collective memory of societies and the lessons they draw from the past. Critics argue that without this historical lens, war stories risk becoming one-dimensional, failing to convey the complexities and shifting truths that wars embody. However, the exploration of historical context is not without its challenges and controversies. Critics might contend that focusing too heavily on context can lead to anachronisms or the imposition of contemporary values onto past events. Additionally, different cultures may interpret the same historical events through vastly different lenses, leading to conflicting narratives and interpretations. This exploration of history and evolution connects deeply to other aspects of the topic by influencing how stories of war are constructed, perceived, and taught. It informs the characters, settings, and conflicts within these stories, thereby affecting their resonance and impact on audiences both contemporary and future. Understanding the historical context and evolution of war stories provides a dynamic framework through which we can explore the timeless themes of conflict, sacrifice, and the quest for peace, offering valuable insights that extend beyond the battlefield. In discussing types and genres of war stories, we delve into the various narrative forms through which war experiences are communicated. War stories can encompass multiple genres, including fiction and nonfiction, each with subgenres like historical accounts, memoirs, novels, and films. These stories are often categorized by the perspectives they offer, such as those of soldiers, civilians, or even the enemy, highlighting different aspects of conflict. The significance of exploring these types and genres lies in their ability to provide a comprehensive understanding of war's complex nature. They serve as vehicles for empathy, education, and reflection, allowing audiences to grapple with the realities of war, understand its multifaceted impact, and ensure that lessons from history are not forgotten. Consider, for example, Erich Maria Remarque's novel All Quiet on the Western Front, a poignant fictional account from a soldier's perspective during World War I. It offers a vivid portrayal of the horrors of trench warfare, contributing to anti-war sentiment by illustrating the dehumanizing and futile aspects of conflict. In contrast, documentaries like Ken Burns's The Vietnam War provide a sweeping non-fictional narrative through archival footage and interviews, offering insights into the political and social dynamics that defined an era. These examples underscore the diverse methods through which war stories are told, each providing unique insights that enrich our understanding of warfare's impact on individuals and society. The diverse flavors of war stories also spark opinions and debate. Some argue that fictional accounts, despite their creative liberties, can convey emotional truths and engage audiences more deeply than factual reports. Others believe that non-fictional works are crucial for historical accuracy and accountability. However, these genres also face challenges, with controversies often arising over the portrayal of sensitive topics such as heroism, trauma, and political bias. Critics may contend with the romanticization or vilification of certain aspects, questioning the authenticity or potential propaganda within these narratives. Ultimately, the exploration of various types and genres of war stories influences broader discussions on memory, identity, and reconciliation. They connect to themes of human resilience, the ethical complexities of conflict, and the universal quest for peace, shaping public perceptions and policy. By examining these narratives, we glean insights into the transformative power of storytelling itself and its role in shaping not just personal or national identity, but humanity's collective history. Narrative techniques and devices refer to the methods and tools used by writers to tell their stories effectively. In the context of war stories, these techniques are crucial as they shape how the audience perceives and emotionally connects with the tales of conflict and bravery. These techniques include elements like point of view, imagery, symbolism, and structure, which together help craft a compelling narrative that resonates with readers or viewers. The significance of narrative techniques in war stories cannot be overstated. They allow storytellers to present the harsh realities of war in a manner that is both engaging and thought-provoking. Through devices like flashbacks, the audience can be transported to pivotal moments in a soldier's past, lending depth to characters and enriching the storyline. Imagery and symbolism can be used to convey the chaos and destruction of battle, while themes of heroism and sacrifice are emphasized, making the stories more poignant and memorable. One notable example is Tim O'Brien's The Things They Carried, where the use of metafiction blurs the line between reality and fiction, forcing readers to question the nature of truth in war stories. Another example is Erich Maria Remarque's All Quiet on the Western Front, which employs a first-person narrative to offer an intimate, personal view of the war's devastation, allowing readers to feel the emotional and physical toll on soldiers. Support for these narrative devices often comes from literary critics and educators who argue that they foster empathy and understanding by humanizing war experiences. By placing audiences in the shoes of those who lived through such events, these techniques create a visceral impact that purely factual accounts might lack. However, there are challenges and controversies associated with these techniques. Some critics argue that certain devices may romanticize war or fail to convey the true horrors experienced by soldiers and civilians. Others point out that stylized storytelling might distance audiences from the reality of the events depicted. Narrative techniques are deeply interconnected with other aspects of war stories. They influence character development, plot progression, and thematic exploration, thus shaping the overall narrative arc. By manipulating time, perspective, and language, these devices enrich the story, providing layers of meaning and emotional complexity that engage the audience on multiple levels. Ultimately, they offer a lens through which to explore the profound and lasting impact of war, shaping our understanding of history and human experience.